أهلا بكم في أولى حلقات برنامج إكسبو يجمعنا. هذا الحدث الذي يقام لأول مرة في المنطقة يجمع العالم، كل العالم. تتزايد الإثارة في إكسبو دبي مع اكتمال أجنحة العرض الذي تشارك فيه كل الدول ولأول مرة في تاريخ إكسبو العريق. دبي كعادتها ترحب بالجميع وإكسبو يتسع للجميع. فرصة حاشدة مثل إكسبو دبي جديرة بالانتهاز، هكذا تقول أرقام استثمارات الدول في أجنحة العرض. الجناح الوطني للهند بلغت تكاليفه حتى الآن قرابة 250 مليون درهم، حرصا على تسويق الهند للعالم من بوابة دبي. ولأن إكسبو جسر بل جسور لتعزيز التواصل بين الأمم وبين الإمارات والعالم، سننقلكم إليه اليوم بعيون رجل الأعمال الهندي ورئيس مجلس الأعمال والمهنيين الهندي في دبي، السيد سوراج كومار، عاشق الإمارات. سيحدثنا عن محطات من تجربته الثرية في دبي، عن الاستثمارات وعن مجتمع الأعمال الهندي في الإمارات، وعن فرص التعاون أثناء إكسبو وما بعد إكسبو أيضا. السيد كومار ضرب معنا موعد هنا في هذه الحديقة، ساحة رقة البطين. أظن أنه وصل وعلي فقط أن أجده. Mr. Suraj, good morning. How are you doing?
Good
All
to
is
meet
good?
you.
How's everything?
Good to see you.
Oh, we'll talk about Arabic later. Did you have your vaccine?
I did. Both doses, feeling very good.
Me too. I
Yeah.
have, yes, please. Me too, both doses.
Yes.
So, Mr. Kumar, when I first called you to have an interview with you and I asked you to choose a location, you chose this unknown for me park. It's in the middle of a vibrant dera.
Absolutely.
Why this park?
It's a beautiful park. It was created about 6 months back.
Yeah.
It was got ready suddenly. We knew something was happening, but we didn't know that a beautiful park would come out. Manicured lawns,
Yeah.
beautiful flower beds.
Nice. And you walk here every day?
Every day. The walking
Nice.
track is beautiful.
Yeah,
it's a
I
lovely
see that.
jogging track.
I can see
And,
that.
it gives me me time.
Yeah.
You start thinking strategically. I come here 5:30 in the morning during summer,
Yes.
and winter maybe 6:30 or so.
That is very early.
Yeah.
I must be asleep at that time. You were here 4 decades ago.
Yes.
When you first came. I have one question. Do you need still GPS to go through Dubai like me?
Well, no. I think we go by landmarks, as was the case
True,
before.
true.
Yeah. You said Clock Tower, you came here.
True. Yes.
Yes,
That's
yes.
a very important landmark in
Correct,
here.
correct.
It's around. It's really nice how in the middle of a lot of activities
you're right.
we have this greenery and this beautiful park. Let's walk.
Yes.
بعد الفاصل سنعود ونفتح بعض من صفحات حياة ضيفنا السيد سوراج كومار. مرحبا بكم من جديد. نواصل هذا الحوار مع رئيس مجلس الأعمال والمهنيين الهندي في دبي السيد سوراج كومار. Let's finish our interview here.
Sure.
So in 1979 you were headhunted for a role in a large governmental project here in Dubai. You were in a dilemma at that time because you had an offer or an option to work in New York. So what made you choose a small town at that time called Dubai?
I think Dubai even then promised a growth story. New York is a mature market that had already grown. Dubai was vibrant, was prepared to launch big projects, infrastructure projects, was prepared to grow the city. And I thought my growth, along with Dubai's growth, would be a great story for myself.
When you first came here 4 decades ago, how was this landmark? How was this area at least?
Dubai was an affluent village, very small. You knew practically everybody that was around, who made decisions. Going to Safa Park in Dubai used to be an out-of-town picnic for my kids. So Dubai was a very small town. Much of it happened. Clock Tower in and around Dera was where all the business financial district was.
You were called the merger man. Why you had this title?
Well, that came a bit later.
Yeah.
So I raised project finance and managed it. And then Sheikh Rashid decided that he would want to pay it back, paid it back. And then some of the banks in Dubai, family-owned banks, were in difficulties. So they were being merged. The government of Dubai was planning to merge them, acquire them, and restructure them. So because of my project finance banking background, I was part of the team that did it. Over the last 27 years, I have done 5 mergers,
that's
5
why.
acquisitions. That's the reason. I was part of that process.
Yeah. It changed the financial landscape in the
financial
UAE,
landscape, yeah.
actually, and maybe in the region.
It created a banking champion.
Exactly.
Yes.
So your family was always raised here, even when you don't have a job, let's say here, and you were really working in India, you commuted between both countries.
That's true, that's true. You know, I'd grown with Dubai.
Yeah.
I liked Dubai. My family, my son was born here. My daughter was 2 years when she came here. So she grew up here. So this is our second home.
And it's close.
And it's close. I call Dubai the best suburb of Mumbai, you know, and it's very close.
Yeah.
Any part of India you can reach in 3 to 4 hours.
Exactly.
You can have breakfast in Dubai and lunch in India.
I think that's what you did, right?
That's what I
With
did.
the meetings
Yes.
between Dubai and
Yes, yes.
India.
Yeah.
Did you ever felt stranger or expat in Dubai?
No, I think that was the best part. Since you were involved, everyone, you know, gave respect, and everyone admired, and everyone liked everybody else, you know, because it was a journey. It was not competition in the sense as we know. It was cooperative competition, you know.
Yeah.
So you were competitive, but you wanted to achieve better, and you wanted to carry everybody with you.
In here, there are around 2.7 million Indians living in UAE. It's the largest community. Do you communicate together? Do you have, at least with this community, do you have ties with them?
We do. In fact, we have cultivated it carefully. You know, we want to be sure that we represent the best aspects of India, you know, when we are abroad, that we work for the strategy of this country, because this is our host country. We want to make sure that the community has a purpose and a vision and a strategy, and that strategy has to be aligned with Dubai's own strategy. You know, that's the best part of it. That alignment is very important.
2.7 million, that's a large number. How do you explain it?
I think 2.7 million, but if you then segment it in terms of professionals, businessmen, blue-collar workers, you know, engineers, doctors, accountants, etc., then each of these bodies, you know, they create a structure. Yeah. And so communication is not difficult. You know, these days with the aspects of communication, getting a message through to the community is not difficult. The Indian diplomatic community works closely with us.
The whole thing also is why 2.7 million chose to be in Dubai, in UAE, not in any other countries in the region.
I think the tremendous opportunities, the sense of security and peace, and the opportunity for growth, and, you know, this feeling at home. Yeah. Which is very, very important, you know.
And close.
And close,
so
and
the
close.
Closeness is very important. So, do you have moments during those 4 decades that you really look with pride?
Yes, I think, you know, to be part of very many of the initiatives that Dubai launched over the years, over the 27 years, to be part of a large banking growth, is a moment of pride. You know, to bring the Indian community together under the umbrella of the Indian Business and Professional Council is a moment of pride, because unity is difficult to achieve. Within a community, there are different points of view. And you need to do it carefully, consistently, day by day. It's not a flash, occurrence. So you feel not so much a matter of pride as a matter of satisfaction, fulfillment.
Nice. Yes, so nice. You took your retirement from
in 2012
as a CEO of Emirates NBD.
Yes.
You have a motto that I like, actually, is I'm retired but not tired. So what kept you busy those days?
Well, I think you have energy, you have experience, you have the urge to make a contribution. So I could have sat and looked at the sunset or looked at the beauty, etc. But that would be a waste of all the experience and insights and knowledge that I can share with the next generation, mentor them, grow them.
What do you do now?
So I do governance. I sit on a number of boards of financial institutions, banks, insurance companies and the like, both in India and here. I mentor young entrepreneurs, they want to do good. The gray hair helps. You can give advice. You can give good advice.
A lot
and
of
they
maturity
listen to you.
and wisdom.
Credibility, having done it, I've made mistakes, I've done successful transitions.
True.
So it's important to, transfer that knowledge to the next generation.
That is so nice. So when we met, you said Ahlan wa sahlan.
Yes.
Did you learn Arabic?
I learned Arabic, but all my colleagues and friends and Emirati friends learned Hindi and English much more.
Really?
Some of them even knew Malayalam and Tamil,
nice.
Yes.
But you still have time to learn some Arabic,
yes,
at least to understand what I'm about to say.
No, I understand, which is the best part of it. Yeah, I do understand very well.
You're not used to have the media following you.
Yes.
But this is not the end, because we will follow you to the office as well, the office of the Indian Business and Professional Council. هذه الرحلة إذا ما زالت مستمرة مع السيد سراج كومار، سنرافقه بعد قليل ونتحول إلى مكتبه قبل أن نصل رويدا إلى إكسبو وإلى جناح الاستدامة. ابقوا معنا. So thank you. I arrived without using GPS, thanks to you for the first time in Dubai. Thank you so much. So we arrived to the Indian Business and Professional Council.
IBPC Dubai.
IBPC Dubai is the oldest, actually. I have the information. It's the oldest and the largest representative organization of Indian businessmen and professionals, more than 1,000 members. What is your mission? What is your mission in this Indian Business Council?
The objective is to be a catalyst for trade and investment flows between India and the UAE, Dubai and India specifically, and more importantly, to act as a strong representative and networking body for the Indian business community here in Dubai. And connecting with the various government departments, acting as a spokesperson for issues that concern the community, that concern the contribution the community can make towards Dubai's strategic plan, objectives.
Amazing. How do you assess the council work and mission in unifying the business communities between UAE and India?
So in 2003, the Indian Business and Professional Council was established as an apex organization, which will be the only organization for the Indian community, the Indian business and professional community, representing, which is recognized and regulated by the Dubai Chamber. This was to bring together previously existing organizations and make it a strong, vibrant body to represent the Indian community.
So you helped a lot in unifying the trade and business communities.
The community together and put them under one umbrella.
The umbrella of Dubai Chamber. How is working with Dubai Chamber?
It's working very well. They're very supportive. They want to see the growth. They provide us all the necessary requirements that we need to engage with different parts of the government of Dubai. So I think it's a tremendous partnership.
Do you have any moments that also that kept in your memory from the Indian Business and Professional Council?
Many moments. I think IBPC soon became the go-to organization for new businesses coming into Dubai, for businesses that wanted to establish or grow or seek support of India and the Indian governmental bodies, etc. We helped as a catalyst, as an organization that could help at both ends.
So investor coming here, startup being settling up here, they come to you?
They come to us. They seek support. They want to network with the community here. And the Indian Business and Professional Council, IBPC for short, IBPC is also set up according to various focus groups.
Okay.
Each of the focus groups represents different sectors. For instance, accounting, auditing, assurance services under one umbrella, one focus group.
Very good.
Banking, financial services, insurance under one focus group. Logistics, shipping, transportation, infrastructure under one focus group. So we're organized, education, healthcare as one.
Very well organized, actually.
Yes.
It's just not only one umbrella or one entity.
Yeah.
It's really categorized.
And these sectors were chosen on the basis of Dubai's strategic plan,
Very
2021, and also India's strategic interests in terms of growing the trade and investment flows.
About the trade, here are some numbers. So UAE trade valued as $180 million in 1970.
Yes.
It's today around $60 billion or more between the 2018-2019. What helped the ties to grow stronger between the two countries?
I think fundamentally both the economy of the UAE and the economy of India grew. So they grew benefiting from each other's growth, which is a very interesting combination. So UAE's requirements, Dubai's requirements were addressed by the Indian exporters, importers, in a manner in which it aligned with the growth. So as those sectors were growing, the exports were growing, the imports were growing, re-exports, transshipments using Dubai's excellent infrastructure.
It is a hub.
That helped, yes.
Yeah, it's connecting every country, every continent, every part of the world in Dubai. UAE is India's third largest trading partner for the year 2018-2019, and it's remained the same after China and USA. What does this advantage mean to you?
I think it means the pivotal role that UAE and Dubai are the gateway to the GCC, gateway to the rest of the world for a number of businesses, for a number of business sectors, for a number of professionals, technology, transportation, shipping, logistics, the whole range. I think the key importance is that the leadership of both countries focused on this strategic relationship. So they entered into a partnership arrangement that would grow and develop new sectors, new avenues, new opportunities. So it's a consistent, structurally designed, strategic relationship between the two countries.
Do you count that IBPC was a factor in this success and this huge trade between UAE and India?
We'd like to say modestly that we contributed, that we were a small catalyst, that we helped push the agenda along.
How did you also benefit from Dubai investment support and incentives?
I think ease of doing business is tremendous. There is a lot that India learned from Dubai's role model in that respect. Ease of doing business, the fact that world-class infrastructure is available, which is very important for doing any business these days. Thirdly, a globalization personified, relatively small country as the hub of trade in different sectors for the world is a very unique model.
Where do you want the cooperation between the two countries to grow? Where do you want to take it in the future?
I think there are new areas emerging. For instance, pharmaceutical security, pharma security we call, food security. For instance, maritime cooperation. So there are a number of strategic
artificial intelligence,
artificial intelligence, technology, where India has a huge amount of strength. So those trends can be shared. There are a number of shared objectives, even in areas where the UAE is also a financial hub. So areas such as capital, investments, private equity, growth capital. India is embarked on an infrastructure growth. So UAE has world-class infrastructure, the capabilities, the pool of expertise. That can be a win-win for both countries.
The friendship between the two countries, UAE and India, remained unchanged, despite there are many changes in the government in India. What are the factors that keeping this relationship, this tie is so strong, no matter what happens?
I think it's people to people, it's business to business. And that doesn't change, that only strengthens and grows, because it's a win-win for both sides. So governments recognize this is a journey that they should support and enable, because it creates jobs, it creates, financial growth, it improves the livelihood, the lives, and more importantly, it creates wealth for both countries. It creates wealth. So it's a tremendous shared interests that were. So there is no reason to upset something. If anything, there is a good reason to support it, enable it, take it to the next level.
And on the human level?
Yes. At the human level, at the leadership level, the chemistry is brilliant. So there is very close contact, there is close consultation, there is mutual sharing of advice, direction, working together in global organizations together, for the common objectives. So I think there are a number of areas where there is good alignment. So that's always, the path for recipe for sustained success.
If we go back to the IBBC, where do you want to take it also in the future? Do you want to change, manage things differently? With all what is happening in the world, it changed actually the business side, the business model for the future. So how do you think businesses within your council should change also?
I think one area where, we would like all our businesses to be strong and sustainable. So we would want to assist them as they, let's say, to get a good credit rating so that it makes it more effective. They get a good rating in terms of the quality of business. There is a governance standard that you set. So the governance quality is good. And you want to help them strategically to open new markets.
Sure.
And Dubai is always creating new markets from around the world. So I think aligning with Dubai's own strategy, as we speak now, they're redefining the strategy for the next 50 years. The mission and the vision has already been achieved, balanced growth as they seek to achieve. I think IBPC would like to be part of, take the Indian community to be part of that balanced growth. And at the same time align ourselves with India's strategies. India has got an ambitious plan to grow the economy, to diversify, make it a $5 trillion economy.
Wow.
The third largest
in the world.
By 2050. So align ourselves. So there are a number of objectives that we have set for ourselves. Use technology more effectively to start with.
Any advices for the new businesses coming to Dubai? How do you mentor them? How do you support them? What do you tell them before getting introduced to the UAE market?
I think the first thing is that they need to be realistic. They need to get a good business plan in place, execute efficiently, highest standards, and you need to aim to be the best in your business. You need to be, because Dubai is getting ahead, and they don't want stragglers. They don't want businesses that will pull back. So they want to be going ahead. And at the same time, efficient use of capital, efficient use of resources, bring good quality personnel, so that your standards are higher, you set certain quality, your benchmark is forever moving upwards. I think mentoring them, especially giving them some technical advice, we have these various focus groups, would be one way.
I am sure that Expo will make those strong ties between UAE and India even stronger. How about we go to Expo?
Very good idea.
I didn't go and visit Expo. I will be going for the first time. Yourself as well?
I've been there once.
Okay.
I took a small
tour.
Indian delegation with me.
A sneak peek.
We went on a tour, a sneak preview. But we have also had seminars and symposium on Expo, the Indian Pavilion, and the Expo authorities have come and made presentation to our members.
So you will tell us about the sneak peek you had for the Indian Pavilion, and we will visit the Sustainability Pavilion, a pavilion that costs more than 1 billion dirham. I'm really looking forward to see it. Let's go.
Likewise, absolutely.
Yes, let's go. To the Expo. We can take the mask to do this interview. And, we are visiting now the Sustainability Pavilion. And, it's called also Terra, which is Earth in Latin.
Yes.
They spent 1 billion dirham in this pavilion of sustainability. Nothing is enough for our Earth, for our Terra.
It's an investment for the future.
True.
It's a legacy for future generations. So you don't count it.
We don't.
You don't count it.
Yeah, it's worth it for our Terra.
Yes.
We'll hear a lot of music during this interview. We'll hear also a lot of construction. It's still a construction site until it's finished. Yes.
Correct.
So I will not ask you about the importance of sustainability for India and UAE because it's really the priority of the two governments. But I would maybe ask about, is the sustainability concept has gone global already or not yet?
The sustainability concept is going global, and I'm glad it's going global in a very steady, sustainable way.
Yeah.
Because then it'll make lasting impact across the world. And I think, the UAE Sustainability Pavilion is a good demonstration of being future ready.
True.
In that context.
Unfortunately, in some countries, it's still considered a luxury. Do you think this is the right approach?
No, I think it's a necessity. It's a necessity for the world to progress the way it should. And so the countries that cannot afford to take certain sustainability steps will need to be supported, will need to be supported by others, because this is a journey for everyone to work and cooperate with each other to achieve the results.
True. In your opinion, how we should deepen the planet's awareness and its population, of course, of alternative energy, for example?
I think start with the youngest generation and work your way up. The older are, a little more experienced and knowledgeable and can make the choices. The young need, jobs, so you need to create, you need to invest in development. Sometimes the choices in development are those that help sustainability and those that don't. So you need to make the right choices.
How much you think is enough to create sustainable future for us, for future generation?
I think you can't count it in days and months and years. I think it's a journey where you have to speed it up, which is why I think the UAE sets the trend in terms of looking the next 50 years, to create a balanced, sustainable world. So 50 years is not the end result. 50 years is a journey where you keep improving by the day. So you need to invest on a daily basis.
What is required from the governments, from the people, to start embody the culture and the awareness of sustainability?
I think it has to get into the consciousness. It has to become a habit. Sustainability needs to become part of your DNA. And so the messaging, the communication, but more than messaging and communication, examples are good. When you create a Masdar city, when you create a solar park, as Dubai has done, those are actions that speak louder than words.
Sure. And hopefully it will inspire other countries as well to do the same.
It will indeed.
Should I dare and ask you, what is your preferred pavilion in Expo?
It's a difficult question. My head says the UAE Sustainability Pavilion. My heart says the Indian Pavilion.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, the Indian Pavilion is one of the largest pavilion on the World Expo. It is an opportunity for the India, I think, to say to the world its extraordinary stories of development. What do you think? Why such impact and importance to have a big and large pavilion?
I think India wants to and will make a statement, by its actions. It wants to demonstrate that it has arrived as a global powerhouse for the good, force for the good, as it were. And in every sense of the term, it has started excelling in technology, in terms of applications in pharmaceuticals, in a number of sectors. And it wants to become a $5 trillion economy, very soon, as soon as it can. It's already turned the corner. It is now a positive growth rate from this quarter. And so it wants the Expo 2020 to represent the best in India.
It will come, the Expo, after a very tough year for everybody. 2020 was very hard on all the level on this planet. And 2021 is the aftermath, let's say, what people are trying to recover. Do you think that this Expo will mark the start of putting behind us what happened in 2020?
Yes, I think it will be an inspiration. It'll bring very happy memories. It'll bring very happy experiences, and more importantly, there will be lessons, that will be learned as countries, all exhibit their best. And so you get to see the entire world in going through Expo, in just one location.
What, in your point of view, would Expo bring to business and to the world in general?
I think the business gets to showcase their best products, their best services, see what and how others are doing and how can we do better. So it creates a very lively, healthy competition as well in the process. But most importantly, it enlarges the scope for customers and supplies. And so it's a virtuous cycle.
Because the economy, do you agree with me that the economy, the business models has changed after the COVID? So what do you think? What is the take from this? What do you advise people starting their journey from Expo, with Expo, to for the future business in the world?
I think what's important is adaptability to start with. You will have crises in businesses. You will have crises in the society from time to time. You will have viruses floating around from time to time. But as you adapt and cope and deal with them and follow the discipline that the governments of the day regulate, I think you're in a good place, you're in a good growth spot.
What would be the legacy of this big event for Dubai and for the future generation to end with you? What will be the legacy?
I think, that Dubai can create a magnificent experience in such a short period of time and sustain it and demonstrate to the world, that what it takes, if you have leadership, if you have vision, if you have foresight, and if you're looking ahead, not a few years, but 50 years, 100 years ahead.
And that's what they are doing. They have a plan for 2071, actually.
That's right. That's right.
The 100th anniversary of the creation of Etihad. This is amazing. Do you have any last word to say? I enjoyed my time with you the whole day, from the park to the office until here. Anything you would say to the viewers?
Thank you. I think we're blessed to be in Dubai, at this point in time. And I think for a person from India, this is the closest that you can get to get glimpses of the world. And most importantly, I think these are all avenues to further grow the business, further grow strategically, and most importantly, get the two countries, get the whole world working together.
شكرا جزيلا لكم مشاهدينا على متابعتنا في هذه الحلقة الأولى من برنامج إكسبو يجمعنا مع رئيس مجلس الأعمال والمهنيين الهندي هنا في دبي، في رحلة متواصلة من حديقة في الديرة إلى إكسبو دبي. شكرا لكم على المتابعة. How about we take more glimpses of the Expo and we finish our tour? What do you think?
Great. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Let's go.
Thank you.
We'll finish. So, did you know that the battery was first introduced in the second Expo of London in 1862? But what I have from this story, that these cutting-edge innovation in sustainability shown here in Expo Dubai are really the accumulation of knowledges of the humanity, the accumulation of innovation from the 19th century until today. Isn't that amazing? And
the journey sustains over centuries, and Dubai carries the torch of solar-powered torch of sustainability.
That is true. Amazing. Let's finish our tour in the Sustainability Pavilion.